UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is Wolf 10. I am your werewolf, and today we'll be covering something that has been quite on my mind for quite some time now. Sometime I by some time I meant years and years of times, and it's about movie sequels and movie reboots. I'll be covering what counts as a reboot, a readaptation, an adaptation, a proper sequel, what's a good sequel, and what's a terrible sequel, what's a terrible way to reboot, and the mindset that most people go into when they make these sequels and reboots. It's good to see everybody. Let me welcome regular Brian Gill Martin, who is surprised that no one's here yet, and yet we have two extra people here who are also Schooner Tuna and Green Lion Girl. Sadly, will only be here by a second. Oh, interesting. I had to stream on International Men's Day. I'm guessing since we are on about sequels, I guess we will be covering the topics of manly men in these movies. I'll also be naming some of my favorite sequels and reboots, and I'll go over what certain movies tickle my usual movie pet peeves. So let's get into this today, everyone. So I love sequels, and I also love reboots when they're done correctly. Of course, I can name at the top of my hand the type of sequels that I like your typical Aliens, your Terminator 2s. Hey, dare I say it, I even like Predator 2. I might be in the minority who actually enjoy Predator 2. Or say, for instance, I like reboots such as your typical The Fly remake and the um the Thing, which is technically a remake to The Thing from Another World. And for modern remakes, I actually like the Jungle Book that Disney had brought out around 2017, I believe. I enjoyed that one. It was not that great of a movie, but John Favreau did a good job with his creative mind was able to conjure. Heck, I even enjoyed the Pete's Dragon remake, which is again a proper. Both movies I call them remakes because those are proper remakes, unlike the rest of the Disney movies that have recently come out. And we have also Artificial Joni. Welcome, Artificial Joni. You guys tell me of your favorite sequels and reboots in the comments as well, and we'll be going to discussing those as well. I'll even share my opinions on those. And we have Chris P. Oh my goodness. The 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 viewership is growing. I think I'm gonna be overwhelmed. I think I'm under pressure, guys. Help me, help me. Oh, help me. Not kidding. I'm glad you guys are here today. I really am. Just chilling, shooting a SWAT. You know, I'm enjoying this. So let's get this show on the roll, everyone. So let me go over my criteria of what makes a good sequel and what makes a good reboot. Shall we? And we can cover those as well, Brian Gill Martin. Man, I'm actually getting you guys to think on that. I don't think it's really that hard to think about, guys. I mean, what sequel really hits you good, like really good, the most? So take some time to think on that while I discuss this topic. So let me start over again because I got distracted. So what? Let me go with my again. Let me go with my criteria of what makes a good sequel and what makes a good reboot. In my opinion, of course, a sequel should be its own story first and foremost. Granted, it should come after the heels of the beginning movie that started the franchise, of course. But at the end of the day, each sequel should be telling its own story. Yes, it will probably take place depending on what time frame you want to go with the sequel. It could take place months after the first movie, or it can come off just a day ago from the first movie, or even a year from the first movie. But you have to keep in mind when you write, and this also goes into writing a sequel to a book or a comic book for that matter. And we have Melissa Harris giving us solid news. I got some business to take care of, but you guys have a wonderful stream. And Wolftan, I will see you on everyone else at Professor Gee, Big Al, Troy, and Mr. Master streams as always. And thank you, Melissa Harris. Thank you so much. That's nice to give. The gift that keeps on giving. So keep giving that gift, Melissa Harris. Anyways, the movie should, or a book, or a comic book for that matter, or heck, you can tell stories through your artwork. And put it like this: the next page that you draw will most likely be a sequel to the page that you draw originally. But as I said, number one, this is number one. It should always tell its own story. First and foremost, you can introduce new characters, but the characters that you follow should be the forefront of the sequel. Or you could tell your own story in the sequel by focusing on new characters, like an anthology, if you will, or you can be, or you can give it an anthology feel to it while still making reference to the first movie here and there, in subtle ways if you like, as if you know how to do subtlety, which I'm pretty sure you guys do know how to do subtlety. I have great faith in you guys. Or or you can have certain aspects within the sequel taking place within the prequel, except you're focusing on a new set of characters, if you will. So that is my criteria. Sorry, I didn't finish my criteria of what's a good another good sequel, or at least another good uh number two for a good sequel is the world building. You can use the sequel to expand on the world a bit more that the first movie has, or the first entry. Let's go with that. The first entry. I keep saying movie, which is not limited to just movies, guys. This is for books, games, and art. So the sequel can expand upon world building that the first entry sets up. So whatever you put into that sequel has to gel well with what the first entry built up or set up for the series that you're creating. You need to be able to world build within that now. Now is your chance to broaden the scope a bit. And by that I mean, if you say if you establish a colony in the first entry, if you want to focus on another colony in a second entry, the second colony should expand upon the rules set up by the first colony, and you can come up with different rules that the second colony gives now to expand on the world build, especially if the setting is gelling and meshing well with the rules set up by the colony. So if you put it in a post-apocalypse world, you have to have a set rules of what goes to the post-apocalypse world. Desolate, if you want to, or floral, if you want to go with that as well. What I mean by desolate, I mean fallout. Desolate, nothing is growing or anything. Everything is barely growing for that matter. So you have to set rules on how people are getting by and surviving in that kind of wasteland. Or if you go with The Last of Us, now I'm talking about the first one here, not the second one, you have floral growing in that world. It's still desolate, but there, but that doesn't denounce that you can grow things in the Last of Us world. Another good entry to what makes a good sequel is that you complete the story. You do not have to use the sequel to set up another sequel, which I'm going to get into later on. The reason why some of these sequels fail, and where some of these sequels succeed on, you do not have to necessarily set up for another sequel if you're not intending to write another sequel. Or here's one way most people tend to do it: you leave the ending open enough to be made a sequel, but you still complete the story regardless. You still have to complete the story or complete the character story, and and that completed story is just that, it's completed, but there's something out there still that can be opened up to a sequel. And as a matter of fact, if you complete the story within that frame of that sequel, you can take that material, take the unneeded material that you pull out from that sequel to make it good enough where you can add on to another sequel that tells its own story. So in short, uh, expand on the world building. Uh, Flip a coin whether you want to focus on new characters or not, or continue with the same characters and have them expand upon the world building, and leave it open for a sequel to be possible, or just complete the story. And if you want to go with a sequel, focus on something else within that world. It can still take place in that world, but it's not going to be following certain characters, or it's not going to follow a certain landscape. It'll be taking place differently in another part of the world, which I'm probably going to blank out on what movies or what shows or what books did that. You guys can help me out with that as well. What makes a good reboot? Let's go into that now. So my criteria for what makes a good reboot is that if you're going to reboot it, um, one thing about certain reboots I love is that they tell, again, it goes with the tell your own story, but still try to or if the first entry did not exactly adapt your favorite story completely, or at least it went to a whole different direction, and you may like it all the same, but it was not the complete adaptation. So if you're going to reboot that movie per se, or any other mediums per se, then you should go in the mindset of probably trying to adapt the source material proper. Now, granted, you're not going to be able to adapt a medium 100%. That's a fool's errand, especially if you're going to do a movie about it. Now, a game or a show, it's possible, but a movie on that front, you're probably either going to break it down, or you're going to have to really, really like adapt certain parts of the story within that medium, which usually fails as well too, because even some people who do that don't get those right. And of course, you're gonna have to make peace with the changes that you're gonna make within these reboots or within these adaptations, of course. But this is a sequels and reboots stream, not the adaptation streams. Which I'm probably gonna make a stream about adaptations as well. Anyways, reboots. And another thing is it should be completely different from the original. but not too, especially if you're adapting a medium, but not straying too far from the adaptation itself. So that's what makes a good reboot in my eyes, or at least make a good readaptation or remake, is if you're able to distance yourself from the original entry, or you adapt the or you utilize the reboot as a fine well tuned adaptation that the original either couldn't have achieved or wasn't able to get into with the technology of the time, or with the person who was writing it at the time. So you can use that to either cover some things that the original material couldn't have covered due to the technology, or you can and we have Leia plus size here. Almost, and I forgot to introduce Green Lion Girl 7. Sorry about that, Green Lion Girl. But yeah, so let me go into what makes a terrible sequel and what makes a terrible reboot now. What makes a terrible sequel is that it certain creators go into the sequel thinking bigger means better, meaning that when they think about expanding, they make things bigger and better. That's window dressing for the story. That should always be window dressing, not a storytelling technique. Granted, it's used properly in Aliens. Bigger is better. Where the first Alien is more of a slow burn horror flick, the sequel itself is a action horror that expands upon. That's why I say it. That's why it's typical for me to mention Aliens, because it expands upon. It tickles what makes a good sequel in my book. It expands upon the xenomorphs. It expands upon the human factor with the colonial Marines and Weta Uchani, and it introduces the Queen, the ones responsible for laying the eggs. And it doesn't hurt the xenomorph in any other way. A lot of people who tend to hate aliens tend to say that the aliens, sorry, the Xenos are more bullet cannon fodder. Which I'm like, did you even watch that movie? Yeah, you can make the argument that they blow up when you shoot them because of the explosive casing tips on the bullets. But if your argument will only hold water if all of the Marines survived the first skirmish in that facility. It only holds water if everybody in Apon's team were able to get out of there. How many survived that skirmish in that movie? About 4 of them. Your argument is invalid at that point. If you're talking about how the Xenos are super are cannon fodder and all that stuff, yeah, you can call them cannon fodder all you want, but that cannon fodder reduced a whole squad of Marines to down to 4 people, with a commanding officer, a little 8-year-old girl, a, a space trucker, and a corporate businessman. Your argument is invalid on that one. The xenomorphs are still a threat, regardless of whether they're easily killed by Marines. They have the advantage of numbers. You fool. Sorry, didn't mean to go into a tangent like that, but I always get really triggered when somebody say that they hate that movie just solely because of that argument. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna keep going before I take a break to read your comments, guys. As always, I'm loving you guys' comments. You guys are giving me some juicy things to bite into. It's almost an all you can eat buffet in this comment section. Thank you guys for your participation. Gold star for everybody. And I do mean you guys earn it. Or say for instance Terminator 2, again typical of me to pick that sequel, but it expands upon time travel, it expands upon on the resistance front, it expands upon John Connor's role in the future, Sarah Connor's role in the past. The bigger aspect and better aspect is the T-1000, which is liquid metal, sharp objects and sharp and cutting objects instead of projectile weapons, which he has to acquire within the time frame, just like the T-800. Where bigger and better failed was in Terminator 3, which the TX was an interesting design, but it left a lot to be desired. And I think that it was their excuse to make the Terminator female, which it only succeeded way better in the Sarah Connor Chronicles with Cam. So fancy that one. Um, what fails as a reboot is that at times they use the reboot as an excuse to make money, which should not be the case. As I pointed out in our character designs, sure you can make a cheap reboot, but that does not excuse your inability to learn new crafts and enhance your writing. So sometimes they tend to use a reboot and just do the exact same thing, or they try to disguise it as a prequel. In the case of the Thing 2011 prequel, I put that in quotes, which is technically a retread of the first movie. Like if you go over to that prequel, it's almost a shot for shot remake of the original John Carpenter movie, disguised as a prequel. It just has more characters, a higher. Well, let me rephrase that. It has a way more higher body count than the original John Carpenter movie. If I recall correctly, it had way more than 12 people in that entry than the John Carpenter one. Now, Grant, I have to also sing my praises for that prequel. The people working on it did have the best intentions, so I'm not gonna harp on them that harshly for that front, because they did do their homework. They did try to do something with that movie, and I still gotta be nice to them as well, because they originally wanted to use practical effects, where the studio company screwed them over by having them use CGI, a practice that's still been practiced on and not as well redefined, or sorry, not redefined, well refined, like we have it now today. And I've and one thing I will give you guys something to research on. Look up the practical effects for the Thing prequel. There's some really good practical effects. I mean, a lot of them really got under my skin. How they went through the the mechanics of the practical effects. My goodness, that made my hair stood on end. You were here temporarily, Green Line Girl. You have a good day too, and don't work too hard. And be safe out there. But yeah, look up the footage of the behind the scenes for the Thing prequel with the practical effects. They have some really good creative practical effects, and again, it's sad that they weren't able to utilize the effects to their fullest in that movie, and I blame studio execs for that one. And and I pull back on that one most of all because now I can't really rag on it too much, because it was not shown in its proper in sorry, it was not shown in its proper intention with the creators. So now I gotta be a bit more lenient with that one, like, because of that. See, if it was a complete movie, or at least if it was the complete intent now, then I can say, you know what, it's a shot for shot remake, but at least the practical effects were good. But it's still a shot for shot remake of the original, just have a higher body count than the original. Though they do went through painstakingly step by step of lining up everything in the aftermath of the Norwegian camp, when Outpost 21 goes to explore that camp, that facility. I mean, and yeah, I gotta say, some things don't match up though, like the axe in the wall. Like when they when they go see the axe in the wall in the John Carpenter movie, there's no blood on the wall. Whereas in the prequel, there's blood on the wall. I'm like, so where's the blood in that one? I mean, blood may be coagulated and everything, but they still leave a stain regardless. Like even if the blood is coagulated, it's still gonna leave a stain. I don't see no stain. I assume somebody tried to attack somebody and missed when I saw him go through that facility. That's what I thought when I saw the axe in the wall. I was like maybe somebody tried to attack somebody, and they well, obviously somebody probably was the thing, or somebody assumed somebody was infected. They tried to attack that person, and they end up driving that axe in the wall instead of hitting the intended target, and they managed to pull the guy away before he even tries to lodge dislodge the thing out of the wall and keep his rampage going. You know, but in the prequel, they chop a thing part, and there's blood splatter on the wall, but there's no blood in the original. So I'm sorry, but I must say, no blood, no prequel happened. Right there, I'm leaving it at that. No blood, no prequel happened. I got again, I give them all the credit for what they intended to do, but no blood. Yep, yep. I agree, Brian. I agree. Um, it's another terrible reboot. You guys give me a terrible reboot in the comments, and I'll try to think of one. Of course, the Mummy, 2017. That was terrible. Waste of money on that one. It had no focus, no direction, no goal in that reboot. And in fact, I wouldn't even no. Do I even count that as a reboot? Oh wow, you guys are giving me some meaty stuff. Give me some sequels while you're at it too. Still, I seen some of y'all sequel entries, but give me some other terrible sequels. Um, did I mention what? What did I mention? Oh, I'm losing my train of thought, guys. I'm sorry. Let me take a swig of this Pepsi so I can jog my memory of a bit, get myself a little bit hyperactive. Mm. I was talking about the mummy. The mummy. The mummy. I guess you can count that as a reboot of the original Universal monster movie, along with the '90s remake with its sequels, which I was soft spot for the for the Mummy 2, but I loathe Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. We will not be covering that one, Brian Gil Martin. Trust me. I don't even want to. I think it's pretty much redundant to bring that one up now. A lot of people have talked about that game, but yeah, I loathe Tomb of the Dragon Emperor because I didn't like how Alex was portrayed in that movie, considering what happened in the previous movie. He's so disrespectful to his parents. Very, I couldn't stand how he disrespects his own father, who saved his life in the last movie. Remember that? It's like the dude act as if he forgot that his father saved his behind, even though his dumb behind kickstart the plot in the second movie. I'm like, you think you have every right to disrespect your dad and try to one up him on better guns and how many millions he killed? Dude, you barely even started with one. He's killed yeah, he killed the same mummy, but he killed a mummy. You haven't killed a mummy yet, dude. Get off your high horse. You didn't even in fact, you suck at tomb raiding than your parents. At least at least everybody lived when they tomb raid. You got most of your dudes killed. I'm sorry. He's the way how they portray Alex and Tomb of the Dragon Emperor is pretty disgusting in my book because I liked him in the sequel. He was not that bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure people found him annoying, but I'm like, he could have been worse. He could have been worse, a lot worse. What's another terrible sequel? Pacific Rim Uprising. Pacific Rim Uprising had potential, especially when we don't, especially when it was when there was not enough media coverage going on with that movie. I was hoping we were going to get a bit of a robot jocks thing with it, with the Jaegers now are used for conflict fighting dispute handling. Like now we close. Here's what I thought when Pacific Rim Uprising was being made. In my mind, I was thinking that, well, since the Pacific Rim has been closed and there's no more kaiju to be fought, where does that leave the Jaeger program? Hey, hey, love you. No swearing in the stream. I said no swearing in the stream. If my mic can catch you talking, it can catch you swearing. Don't swear. Don't cuss. You said you said the S word. Not kidding. I'm just pulling you. I'm just pulling your leg. I'm just joking. I love you. Oh boy, I didn't mean to derail this stream, guys, but I wanted to have a little a little giggle with my wife. Yeah, Pacific. My idea now going forward, if I had to if they had to hire me to do an entry of a Pacific Rim, I would use this entry to reboot the anyways, if they had to hire me to do a sequel to a Pacific Rim, I would use that sequel to wipe away Uprising. And my idea, or at least what my original thought process of what they were doing with the sequel was, they were going to go robot jocks with it. Like they solve their conflicts through. I was going to use that as a way to not necessarily reboot robot jocks. I would love I would love to. I wouldn't actually wouldn't want to reboot Robot Jocks. I'd rather do a sequel to Robot Jocks. But if I were to sell on, I would actually use that as a way to do a semi sequel to Robot Jocks, or in certain cases a reboot of Robot Jocks. Like just use the Jaegers as combat fighters now. Go with a mobile fire. Go with a bit of inspiration from Mobile Fire G Gundam, where countries are now building Jaegers to combat. Like Pacific Rim should not have to be relegated to just Jaegers fighting kaiju. It's you could expand upon the Jaeger program with the sequel, whereas what could they do in the meantime of no wars with the kaiju anymore, or at least the what are they called again? The aliens. They're called the Overseers, I think. It starts with a P. It's a dumb name too, but it works for that movie. I think they're called the Precursors, like the Jack and Daxter franchise. Yes, I played that game. Yeah, and here's what I would have done too. I would have had Guillermo del Toro as a consultant, even if he didn't want to do the sequel. He would give me some pointers of what he would do with the idea of Jaegers being used in the same way, in the same fashion as Mobile Fire G Gundam, or in this case, Robot Jocks. That that's where I would have went with it. And you know, I got really gotta say this about John Boyega. I feel really bad for him, and he needs to get him a better agent, because he keeps getting saddled in with these sequels that don't really do anything with his actor cred. I've seen him in good stuff. I still have yet to see Attack the Block, but I've seen him in this one movie where he's an aspiring writer, and he's like protecting. He's like living with his son in his own car. He's like homeless, and it's called I think it's called Imperial Heights. Check that movie out, guys, because he's got some range. He's really got some range, and these sequels that in the case of the sequel trilogy and Pacific Rim Uprising don't do him justice. They don't use him properly, or even Clint. They had mm, Clint Eastwood's son in that movie, Scott Eastwood, and they don't even do nothing with him either. He's like the he's like the worst aspects of Cyclops in that movie. That's what you remind me of, the worst aspects of Cyclops. I mean, I will say this. I will say this. Scott Eastwood would be a if they had to reboot the X-Men franchise, I would definitely cast Scott Eastwood as Cyclops. He may not have the same height as James Marsden do, but like he'll be a good fit for Cyclops, especially if you want to do. Well, here's the thing: if anybody would want to do a evolution adaptation, I would say go with Scott Eastwood for Cyclops. But I doubt anybody would want to do that. Um, you know what? Let me take a break now because we're close to the 40 mark, and I need to pace myself in these streams to stop to read your comments. So let me take this 40 mark to read your comments. Started from the top, now we're here. Started from the top, now the whole team here. Started from the top, now we're here. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp. Empire Strikes Back is my top favorites out of sequels. Top favorite. Return of the King. It my opinion has changed on Return of the King. I still prefer Two Towers for obvious reasons. Artificer Joni. Now Mad Max Fury Road, I still need to own that on Blu-ray. Fury Road was really good. And Days of Future Past was pretty good too, though I still have my issues with that movie because it wasn't a proper adaptation of the comic. And I read the comic before I even went to see that movie. Which you guys can strike me for doing that, but I wanted to anyways. And it hit the right points here and there, but it wasn't a proper adaptation for one, and for obvious reasons because one, the X-Men universe does not take place in the universe of the entire Marvel universe, so there was no Franklin Richard, there was no there was no Franklin Richards, no uh, there's a lot of characters that were in that group, and they changed Kitty's abilities in that movie, and people, I I always get testy when people like has Kitty probably ever just no. The answer is no. She's never had those powers. If you read the book, you would know that, you so-called comic fans. She does not know how to transfer people's minds in the future. She had help in the books from Xavier and Magneto. No, from Franklin Richards and Magneto. She had help. As a matter of fact, she didn't even need help. She had help through Magneto and Franklin Richards, who transferred her mind into the body. If they were to utilize that aspect, which used Xavier and Magneto to help Kitty transfer people's minds in the movie, if they wanted to go with Wolverine, then you that's the problem. That's where Brian Singer screwed up in that movie. He had her just have the abilities without any explanation. Knowing full well that are only her main abilities phase abilities, and if they were to explain that Magneto's magnetism and Xavier's telepathy helped her phase abilities transfer her conscious, then that would have been the explanation. But no, she the movie makes it out like she had that ability all this time, and that leaves people questioning things that they should read about first before they go into reviewing that movie. And people are bringing in games. Green Lion Girl, Ripto's Rage, and Kingdom Hearts 2 are my favorite video game sequels. You go, girl. For Brian Gil Martin, Mega Man 2 and Super Mario 3, Final Fantasy 4. Brilliant choices. Brilliant. Again, from Green Lion Girl, I have to highlight her because she's no longer with us today. Oh my god, made her sound like she just died on us. I didn't mean to say it. I didn't mean to make it sound like that. Like how Birth by Sleep, actually a prequel, focuses three new characters visiting worlds, and even the main villain established in Kingdom Hearts and the Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, that's the same thing. My criteria of what makes a good prequel: it needs to tell its own story. It should not have to always line up or make sense for the other entries. It should tell its own story, regardless. You can fill the blanks in between the prequel and the entry, the first entry that started the franchise proper. And if you want to go with a prequel, you need to go with a new story, a brand new story, which it could set up for things that could happen within the first entry, but you should not be hurting your brain trying to make callbacks to the first entry or any later sequels that preceded it. It's the only reason why I liked Rogue One. It's because it told its own story, but at least it lined up to New Hope. Sorry, chewing something real quick. I hope you guys don't hear me chewing. I'm like the professor. I try to chew silently. I'm like it. I'm like Big Al. He just. Sorry, Schooner Tuna. What I like about the Lord of the Rings Two Towers is that Christopher Lee's monologue pretty much sets up the plot and expands the lore of the franchise. I'm gonna try to do a Christopher Lee impression, if you guys don't mind. Uh, when in doubt, Google. And Google can suck a. What's Watch your mouth. Not kidding. Interesting. I don't mean to pause on the show, guys. I'm looking for Saruman lines. Good old IMDb. Let me read some of your comments while that loads up. All right. Let's go with Artificial Joni. In a better sense, the Xeno games, Gears, Saga, and Blade are independent stories yet have recurring themes and archetypes. Yep. I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles. I have yet to play Xenogears, but I have tread into Xenosaga. Messed up game franchise, like really messed up. But I loved it all the same, especially the first game. That's another way of making good sequels. Make it a spiritual sequel. That means it doesn't really take place within the entry, but it's there as another as its own story from its predecessor. I haven't read the Darth Bane trilogy, Chris P. But I agree with you. Some books should have been a single book, and in most cases of books, and more from Green Line Girl. Keep what works, change what didn't, and try to expand on it while still respecting the original. Best example is He-Man, the Masters of the Universe 2003 series. Yep, that's a good reboot. And I have to plug in also Thundercats 2011. You guys need to check that out. 2011 reboot did justice to the original Thundercats, unlike that show we will not name. From Chris P, the first Darth Bane book is his original story. The second deals with Bane expanding his knowledge and power and training his apprentice. Exactly. Expand. World build. Focus on new characters as well. From Brian Gill Martin. A sequel continues or expands in an already existing story. A reboot starts from the beginning with a new take. Exactly. That's how it should be. Get your good take. Grant, it may not be the best take that people will be open to, but it was your take. Take your pratfalls wherever you can get it, and take your rewards wherever you get it, whatever you choose to do with your talents. I'm really gonna have to look for those books now because I do have a bookstore near me that actually has a lot of old EU books, a lot of them that I really want to buy. Leia plus size. Well, for me, what makes a good sequel is first have a good story to tell, then don't repeat what you did in the first one. Respect the characters. Good example, any Jones movies. Yep, each any Jones movie is a different story in itself. We will not count Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls though, because that was basically retreading the first movie. We're treading old territory in that regard. But each sequel, I've seen all the Indie Jones movies, including the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, which I saw on my birthday. Worst birthday present ever for my, was it my 23rd birthday or my 24th? Might have been one of those. Maybe my 22nd. Probably my 22nd. Um, they expand upon a lot of things. Each MacGuffin, and I'm gonna call them that MacGuffin. Let's go with that for now. Has its own intricacies to the story of and the stakes, like the cradle, or was the ooh, all right. My indie credit it has dropped. I might have said that wrong. The Holy Grail, or what was the what was the I know the fourth movie was this, of course, the Crystal Skull, but so in the first movie, the Ark. Second movie, what's the second movie was? I forgot. You guys remind me. Third movie, of course, is the Holy Grail. Interesting items to recover and the road stakes. Another good trilogy was Back to the Future. Back to the Future trilogy. Each one had its own unique take on time travel. Especially second one. The second one was really good. How they it's kind of funny how maybe you guys know this, but um Crispin Freeman, the actor who played George McFly, was not in that sequel at all. I mean, I think he was only there for for old man George McFly, but he wasn't there for young George McFly. And every time when they brought in young George McFly, they always viewed it from the back. Now you know why. If any of you guys didn't know that, now you know why they kept showing George McFly from the back, because Crispin Freeman wasn't there to play the role. So you're basically hearing his lines dubbed over a body double. Leia plus size. A reboot can do a new take, but not disrespect the first one. But come up with a new idea to tell the story without killing the theme. Exactly. Like Ghostbusters answer the call as the as Troy and everybody else have come to call it now. Really seem to hate it. The Ghostbusters originals. And from Schooner Tuna, I agree with you with the theme prequel. I took more of a soft critique of the film because the production really put in effort. I was really upset the ship's pilot was blurred out. Yep. That when you look at I encourage you guys, go look at the footage. The pilot animatronic is creepy. The pains, the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that design that thing, pun intended. My goodness, amazing! It That thing looked like a living, breathing thing for animatronics at the time. Whew. Yeah, screw that movie. That movie was dumb. Give me the Cameron Diaz crew any day. Even though that movie that movie was not that good either. Looking back at it now, not that good. That movie was dumb. It should not. That movie should not have been made. Elizabeth, you as much as I love your portrayal of Rita Raposa and Aoife Trickett, you need to get off your high horse. That's the only things I know of you. Anything else, I'm like, what have you done lately? Aside from being Gwen, no, that was Bryce Dallas Howard. No, you were that. You were what's her name in the Daily Bugle that Peter talks to every once in a while. You were in three. You're talking about seven Spider-Man movies. 20, like one. You don't know how to do math. Two, you were in three Spider-Man movies. That should be an honor. How can you disrespect a franchise that you were in three movies of? That woman needs to get off her high horse. Yeah, I only saw bits and pieces of Dark Fate, and I'm all the happy for that. And that's all I'm ever gonna watch out of that movie. That movie was dumb too. Especially when they showed Danny in the future. I'm like, note to any aspiring filmmakers that might happen upon this stream. Stop casting young people and try to make them look badass. It's dumb. It's dumb. Every time I saw Danny try to be all badass stuff, I'm like, little girl, go back to school. That's every time I see them do that, I'm like, especially if it's a boy, I'm like, little boy, go back to school. This is a grown up thing. Get your butt back to school. Every time I see these so-called young cats, I'm putting that in quotation marks too. Young cats trying to be all tough and stuff like that. I'm like, go back to school. You do not sell me on you kicking butt in real life. Freaking Emily Browning sold me on kicking butt in real life. And I've seen that woman's workout routine for Sucker Punch. Her and everybody else that were on that production. Check out that one if you will, guys. Like they sold me on girls kicking butt. Like I believe freaking what's her name? What's her name? Hudson. I can believe Hudson can kick my butt than freaking Danny Ramirez. I'm sorry. Shoot, I can believe Emily Brown can kick my butt than Danny Ramirez in Terminator Dark Fate. Shoot. Sorry, I'm getting lost. I only watched Link Carr's review of that one. You're talking about I forgot the title of it, but yeah, that thing existed, and that was weird to put it in that era, considering that it had made multiple times to spread out and take over the planet by that point. Especially if the Vikings didn't know exactly what it was, apart from thinking it might be a demon. No mind change. We will not mention that movie by name either. I'll just put it on screen. I agree with you, Leah. Plus size. The first one was fun. The sequel started off good, but it looks like it got out of hand by the end. Yeah. When you look back at the Mummy 2, it did kind of get a little bit hectic, especially with the Scorpion King at the end as well. I mean, it had a clear focus and a clear plot, but they threw us some other stuff. It it suffered from what I would like to call things not connecting well, like the Magi army at like near like they don't really establish where the Magi army is at in relation to the Anubis army, which it should to me it should have been the near the Oasis. I'm I'm going to assume it was near the Oasis, but like that's the one. Like as good as those scenes were, I kept questioning where is this located at? Where is this battle taking place? Because he's like, because forgot the Magi dude's name, but he was like, I'm gonna rather all the Magi armies to meet the Anubis army Like he was so sure that the a newest artist gonna pop in. That was like a big head tilter there. Though I have to agree with you. Disagree. I kind of have to. No. Actually, no. I'm willing to agree with you there, but I didn't mind the reboot that much. I still love the Angelina Jolie movies. The second one being my top favorite because of an infamous scene. But that reboot wasn't too bad. The only problem with that reboot was the fact they changed the story part way through the movie, where they were adapting the 2014 reboot game. They did not commit to the supernatural. That's the problem that movie had. Whereas the Angelina Jolie movies committed to the supernatural aspect of Tomb Raider with Pandora's box and the what's that thing called, the time traveling triangle. The the reboot had this little they were building up this whole spirit this vengeful spirit in this cursed island, only to make it a contraption that spreads a disease that turns people into crazed infected people. That was dumb. That was dumb. So I'm like, you're gonna omit the supernatural being, but you're gonna make supernatural virus a thing. That's stupid. Yeah, that was my biggest disappointment on that movie. It Alicia Alicia Vikander was all right as Laura Croft though. I got 8 viewers. I need to scroll. I need to hurry up with these comments and scroll down and see who joined us today. But yeah, I didn't mind Alicia Vikander as Laura Croft. She did look like the reboot Laura Croft in some ways. It's just that they needed a better story with it though, and it needs to be tightly written. I also didn't like the jump cuts that they used for that movie. And I still love Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. Still, like as much as I love Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, Angelina Jolie will be my definitive Lara Croft. And I'm not, I actually mean that. I actually mean that. I'm not saying that just to cater. I actually like she is my top Lara Croft. Now, if they have to do another reboot, I would cast she's probably reaching her age now, but I would have casted Claudia Black, Aaron's son from Farscape, who also voiced Cheetah and Justice League Doom, or Yvonne Strahovski, who played Miranda Lawson in Mass Effect 2 and later entries, who was also in Chuck. Personally, Yvonne Strahovski would have been my Captain Marvel if I were directing Captain Marvel. Just letting you guys know there. She would have been my choice, not Brie Plank Larson. Would Royer how would Warriors Orochi 3 stack up? I always thought it was pretty good. I actually like Warriors Orochi. I didn't beat it, but I actually did like it. I got stuck on a roadblock in Warriors Orochi 3. Dude, that's just me having to play at my wife. Relax. Schooner has one. Rise of the Planet of the Apes was a great reboot, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was an exceptional sequel. I wouldn't really call it. I wouldn't really call Rise of the Planet of the Apes a reboot because that could still fit into the original franchise, right in the middle too. That could still that's what I'm saying. Like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, you can actually with Rise the whole Rise trilogy, you can actually fit that in the middle of the not in the middle, but you can fit that in the beginning of the original series. Though you have to do some mental reworking with the technology that they were using for that movie. Though you could say that technology also eroded over time due to the weathering and stuff like that. But you can actually place the Rise series in the original. So that's why I try not to try. I actually don't count that as a reboot franchise. I actually count that as part of the original franchise. The only one that's a proper reboot is the Tim Burton one, in my honest opinion, because that pretty much did everything. I'm gonna read that sometime later. We got Owen in the house, my wingman, and Neil Star Productions. I'm gonna continue reading your comments, guys, but I'm gonna do this bit real quick. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the popcorn kernel in the teeth of crime. Rise, a man stands before you. I'm gonna have to make you my wingman too, Neil Star. One of these days, I want to have you, Owen, and the immaculate traveling scribe, Ivan Mendoza, for a rewatch. If you're up for that, Neil Star, when we get around to it. Yeah, yeah, basically that's what that was in the reboot of the Tomb Raider. It was a discount T virus, and they just actually I would say it was a discount rage virus from 28 days later, because they were they were really angry. I'm sorry, you're right. It's Crispin Glover. Yeah, Last Crusade and Temple of Doom. No, I wasn't I was Here's the thing, guys. I wasn't blanking on the names of each entry. I'm talking about the I was talking about the MacGuffins. Give me the names of the MacGuffins. Shayla Bonehead. See, that was back when I didn't like the hatred for Shia LaBeouf wasn't really that strong at that time. But yeah, he was miscasted for Indy's son. Very miscasted. Oh yeah, Chef is a really good reboot, and it had a really good sequel to boot. That was a really good reboot. I haven't seen it yet. You know, you got me questioning that now. Yeah, John Boyega, dude, just get a new. Though I think I follow him on Twitter. He's doing all right for himself outside of Star Wars now. But like, dude, just get you a new agent, man. You need a new agent. You need to be in better movies, is what I'm saying, for your talents. And I agree, Taylor Kitsch. We don't see much of Taylor Kitsch nowadays. Schooner Tuna. Last thing I seen him in was American Assassin with Dylan O'Brien, who needs more movies, man. That dude needs more movies. That dude commits. Dude freaking mangled his ankle in the third entry of the Maze Runner franchise, and he was still doing American Assassin. Give this man all the movies already. Dylan O'Brien is a committed actor, and he does his own stunts. He's gonna be. He's. I guess he's trying to be the next Tom Cruise. I mean, have at it, dude. Take care. Just be careful next time, dude. Uh, I like Daisy Future Past, but I felt there was too much Ellen Page. They used her sparingly, but yeah, she was running her course over time. By the time she did Days of Future Past, and I hate her character in Umbrella Cup. Sorry, I hate her character now in Umbrella Academy second season. It actually triggered me to want to do a stream, but I end up changing the topic because I didn't have enough I didn't have enough material to cover for that one yet. It's coming, but when I have enough material to really talk about that issue I have with LGBT community. It's coming up, guys. It's coming up. Plus size again. You okay? Give me a moment to read this proper. I want to see if I understand where you're coming from. I just did not take to Back to the Future 2 and 3. They never lived up to 1, but I read the writers did not want a sequel, so the studios made them do it. And right you are, they did they did good with what they were given. They did good with what they were given. I mean, you can't you can't really blame the studio for wanting a sequel out of it because the first movie opened up to a sequel, even though it was a completed story. It says something there's something need to be done with your kids, but they should have just ended right there. Yes, true, but we did get some brilliant sequels that actually did try. Unlike, say, the Transformers franchise, where they just didn't try at all, or even the Resident Evil franchise, was going to cover next Tuesday. So be ready for next Tuesday on the Resident Evil franchise, or the Underworld franchise, where they just literally gave up with the last two movies. Yeah, I mentioned that. Excuse me, Chris P. It's on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. It might not be on YouTube anymore. They probably took it down, but that's where I saw it on YouTube. It's the footage where they use all the practical, where they show all the practical effects. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I'll link it down for you guys to watch. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me do my due diligence now to link you some good stuff. It's some really good stuff. So give me a minute to look that up real fast so I can link you guys to the footage, because that footage also contains the pilot design as well. So just watch it for the sake of watching all the practical effects till you get to the pilot. Excuse me, because I assure you guys, these are some really good practical effects. Wasted too over CGI. Phone ringing. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. Give me a minute, guys. I'm trying to find the video. Cause there's a whole video of it where they had all the practicals for it. Let me see if you guys are chatting. And only by Sam Raimi, who also has brother in it, Joxer from Xena Warrior Princess. I like Brian Gilmartin's about the young cats. Grow a beard before you decide to be a tough guy. Earn that beard too. I have to add that. Earn that beard too. You better earn that beard before you even think that you're a tough guy. Freaking Vikings earn their beards. European knights earn their beards when they grow one. Spartans earn their beards if they grow one. Okay, there's somebody I don't even follow anymore. I'm not going to use this video. I'm not going to promote him. I don't know why, but stop following him. I think this is the one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to show you guys something, and I can't even find it. I can't even remember what video I watched where I caught that. I think I found it through TV tropes. I think this might be the one. Yep, this might be the one. See if it has the pilot animatronic at the end. It does. All right, I found it, guys. So I'm gonna link it to you right now. And you guys have a feastful eye of that. It's really good. It's some really good stuff. So here's the link, and let me know if it works. Yeah, I heard about that. If I recall, yeah, he did. I'm glad he won too. Yep, I agree. It's why it's sole reason why I watch it. That and they kick butt in the make believe stuff. And yeah, I already welcome Owen, but take care, dude. Don't work too hard. All right, I'm pretty sure I got everybody here. So now let me cover some more comments real quick before I go into the worst. All right, Chris P. But if you do come back, or if you watch the backwatch, keep an eye out for that link because I did send the link. So of course, man, you're the guy with Patriot. I would like that too. I would like that too. A guy for reboot that's faithful to the manga American reboot we're talking about. We're talking about a live action American one. The reason why I'm bringing the live adaptation of the animes is because they're just adaptations, which that's going to be covered in another stream. How do you feel about Tron Legacy? It's a shot for shot for the first movie, but it's a solid sequel because it focuses on different characters. If you really break it down to it, it's the exact same movie from the first movie as the first movie, but with better graphics. But it tells its own story all the same, which I'm gonna get for Blu-ray. I actually did like that one. Well, duh. He's not even at the right physique for it. He doesn't even got the spine for it. From Neil Stars Productions. How do you hire the star of Attack the Block and not make him the hero of Star Wars? John Boyega literally fought evil aliens with a sword already. Yep. Yep, he did. Still have to see that movie though. This is baldness. Reboots, Shadow Warrior, blanking on the character's name. I forgot his name too. I think his name is Johnny. Oh, Lo Wang. Lo Wang is a perfect, is a pretty good character in the Shadow Warrior reboot. I didn't know that was a reboot. You mean to tell me I've been playing a reboot this whole time? What's the other entry like? What's the original like? Tell me. I actually did like Blade Runner 2049. Me and my wife went to see it. She had no complaints, and I had no complaints. It was a slow burn. I mean, I also like Critical Drinker's review of it, even though I like it all the same. But I agree with him and some other people who had a problem with 2049. That's the thing. You guys can like stuff that you like. You can even call it a guilty pleasure. But I know you guys well enough to be stable enough to be stable enough to know that some things can let me know if the link is working, guys. I haven't played it long enough to know the guy's name. I think some of you guys are cooking dinner right now, so I'm gonna keep talking. Um, what's another good sequel? I'm talking about recent sequel, not like old sequels either. Let's go into Fury Road. One thing I loved about Fury Road, it did what Last Jedi tried to emulate off of it. It kept the action going, but it also was able to get character arcs going and rolling and a lot of people say Max is a secondary character in his own. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not a secondary character. So one thing I keep hating whenever time time I hear somebody say somebody's a secondary character in their own movie. I'm like, no, Max is on screen the whole time. He is always on screen. Yes, the plot moves through another character, but he's always on screen. They come to depend on Max a lot. That makes him important. You know. Yes, it's a Furiosa story, but it's being told through the eyes of Max as he's going through the motions with her. But he's still a main character. He's a character introduced in the first part of the movie, and he's in the movie keeps coming back to him. It's called Mad Max Fury Road. Man, it's Mad Max and Furiosa that are leading together, even though Max leaves at the end. Now, Split, I like Split. Hated Glass. Hated Glass. Glass was terrible. That was a terrible, terrible movie. The problem I had with Glass was it seemed like M Night was trying to undo everything he set up for Unbreakable and Split. He was trying to he was self he came off as a bit self sabotaging to himself in that movie, and he tried to be too subversive towards the end. That's the problem I had with Glass. Like it kept building up things. It kept like leading up to things. Like it didn't even need a twist, and it didn't have a twist at the end. But still, it was like, what was it all for? That's why I kept asking at the end. I was like, what was it all for? M Night. Glass was a terrible movie. I did love Split though, and I still have yet to see Unbreakable, but Glass kind of ruined that for me, and I don't think I'm gonna revisit Split anytime soon either, and that's sad. That's sad how a third entry in a trilogy can have a bad taste in your mouth to where you don't revisit any of the other movies. That's sad. Like like that. Like I was very curious about Unbreakable. Exactly, Schooner. Exactly. He is not a secondary character. He's a POV character. That means we the audience are experiencing the world through his eyes. Just like Beyond Thunderdome, he's technically not the main character. Well, he's technically the POV character too because at that point when he meets that tribe of children, they're the main stars, yes, but he's the guy that are getting him that are getting them out of there. So at the end of the day, he's still a main character. He's now our audience surrogate throughout the movie, and that's another good that's another good storytelling technique for a sequel. Is that if you have nothing, if you have really nothing new to add to your main character of the franchise, then you can use them as a POV character. Another good sequel I like was Bad Boys for Life, and how they treated the characters Mike Lowry and Marcus in that movie. I thought it was going to suck, but I came out pretty satisfied. Though the end shot scene was a bit too uh what's the word? I'm not going to use generic. That's too easy. Unnecessary. Let's go with that. It was unnecessary. I didn't need to see that final entry with Mike and his illegitimate his long lost son. I think the end where he talks to his son was just enough. But it was that was a good sequel because man, you really get the human side into Marcus and Mike. Now, granted, we didn't get. That's not to say we didn't get any humanity with them in the first previous movies, the first one and the second one. But like you're getting a bit more heart to them, a heart to both of them. Plus size. I love Tron Legacy, underrated film, good example of how to do a sequel and cool Jeopardy. I really wish they would have continued. I really wish that they wouldn't have scrapped the third entry for in favor of Star Wars. That's what I heard from I think H Boomer that said it, or was it Critical Drinker? It was one of those. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but that was really tragic because I was all for more Tron sequels. And I watched the animated series Tron Uprising religiously on Disney XD, and I was mad when they canceled that one too. Just when it was getting good, I was mad. I was like, you guys just don't know what gold is anymore, do you? Or what gold mine you're standing on at times. Brian Gil Martin. Speaking of reboots, do the newer Ninja Gaiden games count? You gotta give me examples, dude. Give me some examples, and I'll tell you which ones counts as good or I'll give them which ones are good or bad. I know Razor's Edge is terrible. I played that game. That game is repetitive. I got tired instantly. 2 is the best one. Changed my mind. I haven't played the Sigma series or Black from because duh, I don't have a PS3. And did they? No. We all know the end of we already know the end of that great tragedy. As a matter here's the thing though. The sequel trilogy should have been good. Had they had had an outline for what they were gonna do. And you know what? If the sequel trilogy was good, I would have been forgiving of it, of them scrapping Tron in favor of Star Wars. Had the sequel trilogy been good, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I do like Paige though. Paige is beast. Paige is a beast in that show. Man, I love Paige. Every time she pop up on screen, like, oh, that's my waifu on screen. I love Paige. She bad. She bad. I also like the episode with Cora. She was uh she was pretty cool when they utilized her. Um reboots. Let's go with the reboots again. What was a good reboot? Of course, Dread. We all love Dread with Kurt Urban and Lena Headley or Headley. I think her last name is pronounced. Dread's a good movie. Before I continue, the failure of Disney movies falls on Kathleen Kennedy. She tried to be Lucas and could not. She was more into her SJW politics. Yeah, that woman should not. Here's the thing. That woman should be her own intellectual property. Should not. She should not have been in anyone else's intellectual property. She wanted a female lead character in a franchise. Should have made her own movies. She should have had somebody make her own movies instead of Star Wars. And I didn't mind a female character leading the next trilogy in Star Wars. Make her good. Good example would have been Mara Jade. Let's go with her. Still have a soft spot for the '90s Judge Dredd, but I'm also not blind to its faults. But the Dredd movie was Dredd is what you do when you want to make a reboot proper that actually touch upon things that the original could not touch upon due to the technology, and it also made a better adaptation than the original did. And I only and it only adapted like one thing, or at least one small thing in the comics, or or at least it's an example of how you cherry pick things, from comic books, from the comics, and still make them good, and still make them good while having an outline of what you're going to do. And I'm still waiting for that Mega City One show that they keep talking about. Though Carl Urban's still getting work, so hopefully he has enough money to make it happen. I mean, remember Riddick? That movie only got greenlit because Vin Diesel sold three of his houses to get that movie made. No studio was The studio wasn't throwing money at the third Riddick movie, and he sold three of his houses to get that movie made. So he gets my respect, Vin Diesel, especially being a friend of the director of the Riddick films and Chronicles of Riddick and Pitch Black. That says that speaks volumes right there for friendship. Somebody willing to sell their own house, three of their own houses that they own, to get a movie made for a friend. I mean, come on. And I did like the third Riddick movie, though. I still love Pitch Black. Chronicles is decent if you watch the director's cut. It gets better. The theatrical cut, it doesn't hold a candle to the director's cut. And Dark Fury, man. If you guys haven't heard, man, if you guys want to see a really good Rig story, watch the anime Dark Fury, done by the artist Peter Chung, who did Reign the Conqueror and the Aeon Flux series. Check out Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury. You would not be disappointed. I'm sure it's on YouTube too. If you guys can't find anywhere on sale, but check out Dark Fury. Really good. Got the voice actors back in the role too, so you will not be disappointed. Says some days I think adapting comics to film was a mistake. Not really. Don't be a doomer on that one. It's Here's the thing, Neil, is that a lot of the old we're losing a lot of the old filmmakers, or at least I don't think the old filmmakers are taking to heart to be a film teacher or a film coach to teach these young cats and these young writers, or at least these film writers. They're not doing workshops enough to teach these young cats what to do when you want to adapt, when you want to write, when you want to shoot a movie. They're not coaching these guys. If they are, then apparently these guys are not listening to their coaches. You know, you got there's the number one plague that's affecting with our Western culture is the absence of guidance from the old. That's one of the number ones. I'm not saying the number one. It's one of the number one factors of why we're heading the way we're heading. There's not enough guidance from the old, and there's far too many closed-minded hotheads that are not willing to listen to the old either. That's why they don't. That's why feminists don't bring up Xena Warrior Princess. That's why black people don't bring up Blade when they keep talking about T'Challa. It's the reason why Snyder Bros bring up Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, but they're not thinking about Christopher Reeve's Superman, the one that started it all. It's the reason why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going the way it's going as of now, because there's not enough guidance anymore. And they have yet to fall on their own asses yet. They haven't reached that rock bottom point, because that's a good storytelling tool too. That would have been a good. That would have been. They probably would have done it wrong though. That's the thing. I don't. I say don't be a doomer, but I hate to sound pessimistic all the same as well. But like, I'm at this point, I'm actually glad they didn't adapt Mara Jade, considering what they did with Ray and everybody else. And I'm not excited for a reboot of the Tron franchise. Why would they want to? That's the thing. Why? Here's you know what, that triggered my next point of contention in this stream. Why reboot when you can add to the sequel? Why reboot? You can have Jared Leto in there, but why does it have to be a reboot? That's the question. Why does it need to be a reboot? It should be a sequel. It don't have to be Garrett Hedlund or Jeff Bridges anymore. It could be somebody else that work for oh, I'm blanking on the company's name now. Flynn's company. Y'all guys can tell me. But yeah, it could be a different story. Why can't it just be a different story in a spiritual, or why can't it be a spiritual sequel to the Tron franchise? That's why Terminator Dark Fate failed as a soft reboot, because it went in the mind. It went to the grounds of rebooting the franchise and did nothing with it. Nothing at all. And when they do, they're they do it in the most oversimplification. They're doing it in the most overly simplified and pro, projected contention towards it, or projected contempt. Take for example old school Shira. When every time somebody mentions Shira, oh, it was made for boys to fap to. I'm like, you do not disrespect somebody else's baby while promoting your own baby. That's like somebody tell. That's like a Karen trying to tell another a well-rounded woman that her son is better than her son because he understands he knows his place as a man. Though we never seen what she teaches the boy, or like He-Man. Oh, it's a boys' club. Like, no, no. Have you ever took time to ask girls did they ever watch He-Man or did they ever play with He-Man toys? Have you ever asked girls that ever played with boy toys and girl toys at the same time? Why you think the Ken doll was made? You need a boy toy with the girl toy, dummy. Let plus size. I agree 100%. These so-called young directors do know what makes the comics work. They missed the point of a lot of them. Yep. But sorry, I don't mean to swing back, but going back to what Brian Gilmartin said, like they know they exist. As I said many times in many streams, they know these people exist. They just hate that they ain't the ones that created them. This hatred in their hearts. They're so mad that they weren't the ones that created the property. That's why they badmouth He-Man. That's why they badmouth old She-Ra. They weren't the ones to do it because they think that they are the ones with the right cause and the right thinking and the right course of actions to do so. It's that arrogance that arrogance that breeds contempt. You know, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. In young Skywalker, I sense lots of fear in you. If Clone Wars from Schooner Tuna, if Clone Wars gets a finale miniseries, why not Tron Uprising? At the very least, a movie because season one ended on such a cliffhanger. Yep. But the question you should ask is the team still around? Will they still have that same energy? Fortunately for Samurai Jack and Young Justice, they have the same energy as of now. And I've seen season 5 of Samurai Jack. There was some good energy with that final entry Samurai Jack. Though I have to agree with what I really do understand why people hate the ending of Samurai Jack season 5. I've seen it now and I'm like, yeah, I can see why. I can see why. That's why I say like as much as I want to see Thundercats 2011 get continued, I don't think it's going to be the same. You got to make sure that if you what you really want to continue, you got to make sure that the writers and creators have that same energy that they brought into previously. That's why when people say they want to see Gargoyles come back, I'm like, no. Let Greg Weisman keep doing Young Justice. Do not bring back Gargoyles because you don't know what energy that they're bringing this time around. You gotta make sure that their energy is the same energy that they had previously, is the same energy they're gonna have now. And interviews, Leia plus size, and interviews. You can hear it when they talk about certain things. Like that one woman that was talking about the X-Men, like, oh, that seems a bit outdated. What about X people? I'm like, woman, shut up. Shut up. Talking about outdated. It's the X-Men. You can replace that X with woman and man. Stupid people these days. Try not to swear. Yeah, if y'all heard me swear, y'all know what y'all know what 5 letter word I would have said in that moment when I said that. Uh, no, Brian Gilmore delayed plus size. Not only that, the whole old heroines are just wank fantasies thing is sour grapes. Yeah. Have these ladies actually ever took the time to talk to women that actually watched Xena Warrior Princess, who actually watched She-Ra, and asked them what they thought about these shows? No, they haven't. Schooner Tuna. Excuse me. Have no fear. We have exceptional instructors like you, Professor Geek, and many others to train this new generation of storytellers, and we will succeed. Chase your dreams. Thank you, Schooner. Thank you very much. Professor Joni. The beginning and middle of season 5 of Samurai Jack was good. The ending was weak. I suppose they needed more episodes. Yeah, it seemed to wrap up too quickly. I would love to see an episode where he actually go and visit visit all of his companions. I really hope that Gennady Tartas. Yeah, I can't talk. Can't say his name properly. Gennady Tartovsky will make at least a short film with Jack traveling across the world to meet all the allies that he made before Aku. Like he has the absolute knowledge of the future of the bad future of that is Aku that has now been expunged thanks to the change in the history. So I would have loved to see him go travel throughout the lands to meet the dog people, to meet the Scotsmen, to meet even heck, he could still find Ashi in this new change like even it may not be the same Ashi, but like here's the thing, I don't want to see him try to get with the new Ashi. I just want him to see her and see her being happy and not being polluted by Aku, because she could still exist in that time that new timeline that he created, or at least that reverse timeline that he created. Like that's not the I'm like I'm after seeing that ending, it was just him standing there alone and stuff. I'm like that's a dour note. Like dude, you can go travel the world and see the people that you met in the future, you know. But then again, he might be older than them actually when he met them, because he got flung into the future, and these guys only showed up in yeah. Still, but like the Scotsman's still around. He's probably a kid, you know. He's probably a child, a baby, maybe. He could probably meet the Spartans before the King Leonidas lookalike took hold. Excuse me. Took led them. I mean, that's the one thing I would love to see Gennady Tartovsky do. Like just do a Samurai Jack movie where he a short film where he goes to visit the people he met during the future. But yeah, I agree that ending was kind of yeah. Oh yeah, you and me both, buddy. But but for me, I'm actually more of a time and place for it, or at least what. Well, this in the case if you guys go and watch me and Mr. Matchstick, I fall off the handle. Like Matchstick doesn't care. He does not care. He's unfiltered. So I'm like, but then again, I try to be a bit more clean too, to contrast his vulgarities. Though I though I tend to one up him a bit sometimes. I guess you want me to say this one then. Madness. This is Sparta. Oh, I also promise you guys I'm gonna do some Saruman lines. So let me deliver on that. Sorry, I don't mean to pause. Oh, this is only fellowships. I was hoping they were gonna take me to the I was only gonna give me all of his lines from the entire uh franchise. I guess I'll say some lines from Fellowship through Saruman. Ah, dude, don't. As much as I agree with you there, Owen. Sometimes you need to really It's not whether or not I think it's a good remake, Schooner. Though, in my honest opinion, I do not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Most because I didn't really like Tim Burton's style for that movie, and I didn't like Johnny Depp as Willy Wonka. And yeah, like even my first viewing of Charlie, I was like, what is this? What is this? That's how it was. And that's the thing. It's not like it's not like I was like so you know hill dying for the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's just like here's the thing. I'm open to any reboot or any remake. It's just that it's got to entertain me, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory did not entertain me. Its effects looked ugly, to say the least. Or at least there it's like I said, this one entry. It was not it was not meant for Tim Burton style at all. Yeah, Dark Knight is a true good sequel because again, it tickles my criteria of what makes a good sequel. Adds new characters, continues the character on, and it adds more to the world of the Dark Knight trilogy. It adds more to the world, like the criminal underbelly. It raises the stakes by introducing a new force that contends with the force that the good guys have employed onto the criminal underbelly, the Joker. So it's really good example of what makes a good sequel. Great example for what makes a good. Have not seen that movie, Johnny. Have not seen that movie. Want to, but not in. I do like Dracula 2000 though, but he was in that one. He was Dracula in Dracula 2000. But yeah, I wasn't really that hip with the Phantom Opera remake. But plus size, are you secretly a long lost sister of mine that you're not telling me? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. uh, um, sorry. Said I was gonna do some Saruman lines. Keep getting distracted by you guys, which is good distractions, not bad. Don't feel bad if you're distracting me. You guys are the best distractions ever. Let me do this line from Fellowship. Do you know how the orcs first came to being? They were elves once, taken by the dark powers, tortured and mutilated, a ruined and terrible form of life. Now, perfected. My fighting Urukai. Whom do you serve? Saruman. You guys can rate me on my Saruman voice. Moria, you fear to go into those mines. The dwarves delve too greedily and too deep. You know what they awoke in the darkness of Khazad-dûm. Shadow and flame. Oh, I love this line though. Concealed within his fortress, the Lord of Mordor sees all. His gaze peers cloud, shadow, earth, and flesh. You know I speak of Gandalf, a great eye, lidless, wreath in flame. 10. How's that Saruman? You know what? Start giving me some voice lines to read, and please put the name to the characters if y'all want me to do any impressions, because we're in the hour mark, and I can do impressions early, then at the tail end. I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. Ta-da! It's gone. As a matter of fact, I could do it. I'm gonna do a Joker impression. And thanks for writing me, Schooner. I'll do one more Saruman line. Oh, I love this line. Hunt them down. Do not stop until they are found. You do not know pain. You do not know fear of death. It's like, let me start it over. Hunt them down. Do not stop until they are found. You do not know pain. You do not know fear. You will taste man flesh. I wish they had that one line with him. This first introduction. Oh no, wait, nope. Yeah, yeah. I think I'm about to. Maybe next time I'll look for that line, but I'll do Dark Knight Joker for you guys. People go crazy when I do the Joker lines. I remember one time I remember this one time I was working. This is before this catastrophe happened. I remember working register at that time, and I had a friend with me sitting behind, and customers came to me, and one of them had a Joker had a Joker shirt, and I led with this. By the way, you want to know how I got these scars? and I did the whole monologue. They were like, "Whoa, that is spot on." I was like, they almost had chills down their spine when I did it too. So I'm gonna try to do a Joker line. You guys can write me when I do the Joker lines. And it's slowing down. That's pretty fast. I'll do this one. I wish they had the beginning line of this the whole exchange between him and Batman, because that's when I really okay, I'll do this one. Why so serious? My father was a drinker and a fiend. He would get drunk all the time, all the night. Sorry, I gotta get the line right. But I'm gonna do this one. Then why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What do I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me. You're a garbage who kills for money. Don't talk like them. Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you like to be to them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need they need you right now, but when they don't, they'll cast you out like a leper. You see their morals, their code. It's a bad joke, dropped at the first sign of trouble. And only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. I repeat, guys, I will only be able to pick up on what lines to say if you attach the name of the character at the end of the quote. Thank you. Is that Magneto, by the way? Yep, it's Magneto. Don't say nothing. All right, let me try this one. Your X-Men face a trial by fire, as do my own recruits. Mutant pitted against mutant. One shall lose, one shall win. Only those who emerge victorious shall take their place here on Asteroid M. That's my best evolution Magneto impression. But how would y'all rate my Joker impression? I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us, Harvey. When you and Rachel were being abducted, I was sitting in Gordon's cage. Now I didn't ring those charges. Your man, your plan. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? A dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. I just do things. Give me one reason why I shouldn't have my boy here pull your head off. How about a maggot trick? I'm gonna make this pencil disappear. And ta-da! It's gone. Seems like you guys are trying to figure out what. I'll give you my best 90s apocalypse line impression. Or maybe I'll give the one with apocalypse from X-Men Apocalypse. I know people didn't like that one. I still, speaking of bad sequels, it's a terrible sequel, but I have a soft spot for X Men Apocalypse. I mean, I will give Brian Singer this. At least he tried to adapt Apocalypse instead of just not doing it. Like not doing it as. I hate to quote Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. Not doing it would be the greatest crime. I'm like, at least he tried. I mean, Oscar Isaac was pretty. Was it Oscar Isaac that did the role? Yeah, it was Oscar Isaac. He did a good job being an Apocalypse. Wouldn't you believe that's Poe Dameron in that makeup? That's crazy, isn't it? Just kind of wish they had a focused story. So no voice lines for me yet. Guess you guys are trying to think of one like, oh, maybe you can try this one. Oh, maybe you can try this one. Oh, maybe you can try this one. Oh, maybe this one. Or maybe you guys are occupied somewhere else since you guys have lives outside the stream, which I respect. Don't burn yourselves out, guys. Trust me, it's not always a good thing. Take breaks every once in a while. All right, I'll try this one from Apocalypse. Always the same, and now all this. No more stones, no more spears, no more slings, no more swords, no more weapons, no more systems, no more, no more superpowers. So much faith in their tools and their machines. You can fire arrows from the Tower of Babel, but you can never strike a god. That's not my best impression. But I can do 90s Apocalypse really good. Give me a 90s line from Apocalypse from X-Men. I'll try to do my best. It's been a while. I haven't practiced it in a while. And you guys can rate me on my Apocalypse from 90s X-Men. Remember back when things were called the animated series? Why did we stop that? Why did we stop calling them the animated series? I'm talking about the first entry of a series. I mean, not later entries like Evolution and Wolverine and X Men. I'm talking about like the first entry of anything, for that matter. Oh goodness, that's a lot to cycle through. I wonder what the quotes. I'm gonna be flooded with them. Actually, I rather than just doing just Apocalypse, I'll do almost all the X Men characters' names. For Artificial Journey, I think I'm already burnt out on discussion. I just want to have fun in the stream now. I think I already said what I said in the discussion. You guys continue to keep giving me stuff to discuss, but like I think I already made my points clear for the discussion. But if you guys want me to say my piece about all the other stuff, any sequels that you or reboots that you want me to quit. Actually, no, I'm not done. I'm not done. I need to talk about the Disney quote unquote reboots. I need to talk about those as of right now. Let me read your comments real quick. On sequels, the real Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters streams. Was that the top? Yeah, extreme. No, actually, it's Extreme Ghostbusters, and that was a good sequel to a series. Really good, guys. Revisit that sequel. You will not be disappointed. That entry in the Ghostbusters was good. That should have been the dude. That should have been the that should have been the sequel that they should have had for 2016. Okay. How much you want to bet on that, on Lister? He says it's hard to do characters like 90s Apocalypse because of the distorted voice and distorted effect in the voice. You really want to bet that one? Try this. I am Apocalypse. Look upon the future and tremble. Now, I don't have no distorted effect, but I can do an Apocalypse voice. Storm, mistress of the elements, command you to release that child. Line up on your speeches, sugar. Hey, Tin Woodsman, I'm sending you back to Oz in pieces. I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. Come on, they're gonna kill him. Good. Tell Cyclops I made him a convertible. His name is Omega Red. The Soviets created him. I tangled with him before any of you were born. Red's got his own plans for this country, and worst of all, nothing hurts him. And you defeated this madman? I got lucky. I know more of this world than you can ever dream. That is why I must destroy it. Next time, I'll use these. Come, we must hurry. Your son. How do I say that one? Your solicitude is appreciated, I assure you. I regret, however, that. What are you waiting for? My day in court, actually. This one's for you, Morph! That's the lines from the 90s. Get lost, Squidward. No, that's not good. Oh, and you tell me how convincing I was as Apocalypse. If you really think it's really hard to do that. The leaders are weak. They restrained me once and lost the empire. Now they have brought me back, a living weapon they once grown to fear. The empire shall live. They shall not. I'm having fun with these impressions, guys. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna get into what I hate about the Disney reboots in a sec. You must like playing with cards. I like solitaire, okay. That is, unless I got someone to play with. How did you do that? With style, petite. With style. Vacation, eh? Meal islands don't good for you. How about we go to Paris instead? How about you get? How about getting your butt out of my car? Let's have a kiss before you go, huh? You know what happens when I touch somebody? You want to end up in the hospital? Maybe it's worth it, no? I'll try this one. Wolverine, I felt him. Such pain. Man been a pain since the get-go, Sherry. Who the hell is Bucky? How about that? Let me do that one more time. Who the hell is Bucky? You guys are having fun with these lines. Keep supplying them. I'm gonna get into like I said, I'm gonna get into why I don't call the Disney reboots, more like adaptations. Actually, let me begin that now since I already started. They're not reboots. The live action, sorry, Owen distracted me with this one. All right, but it's not quite the same without the distorted effect. It's like trying to do Soundwave without the robot effect in the voice. It's part of the character. Nope, nope, nope. I'm not ready for that. I gotta take a swig first, and I think I'm gonna have to take the sweat out. Give me a minute, guys. Actually, that took a second, but I need to get this sweater out, and I'm sweating in that, despite how cold it is outside. Ravage, eject. No, that's not good. I could, I practice Soundwave's voice, but yeah, I guess you're right on that one. I can try to do a Megatron voice if you guys give me a line from any of the movies or any of the shows. Even the Hugo Weaving version. Y'all heard my Megatron movie version. But what I was gonna say about the Disney live action reboots, as they're called, they're live adaptations, guys. To me, for a Disney movie to be a live action reboot would be the only way it's going to be a live action reboot is for it to actually be a live action adaptation first. And I said originally that the Jungle Book was the only proper reboot in in that whole franchise line, and that's only because the '90s actually live adapted the animated movie in the '98 with Jason Lee Scott as Mowgli, a grown-up Mowgli. That's the only one that I say that's a proper reboot, alongside with Pete's Dragon, which mixed in with animation and live action. Pete's Dragon is a reboot, but Maleficent, that's just a live adaptation told in a different perspective. Dumbo is a live adaptation, and that's a terrible movie. Cinderella, live adaptation. There, unless you want to count the live adaptation of Cinderella with Brandy and the late Diana Ross, rest her soul, and Whoopi Goldberg, which was a multicultural cast in that front. If you want to count that as a live adaptation, as part of live adaptations, then yes, you can count Cinderella as a reboot, but not Aladdin. There was never a original live adaptation of Aladdin to speak of for it to be called a reboot. People are skewing what rebooting and what remaking is, and don't let nobody ever tell you the difference, or what they think is what they perceive as the difference, because they're trying to skew words to the point where they're unusable, and they can make them out any definition what they want, period. Just like the word racism, which I'm not going to get into completely in this stream because that's not what the stream is for, but I'm definitely going to be talking about that when I do come upon get around to making a stream for that discussion. But they're trying to redefine what a reboot is. They're trying to redefine what an adaptation is and what a remake is, and that is incorrect. Objectively speaking, the Cinderella movie, the Aladdin movie, and Lion King are technically live adaptations. Though you can kind of though Lion King kind of skews that because all the animals are CG animated. It kind of skews that. But Dumbo, Cinderella, and Aladdin are live adaptations. That's all there is. Live adaptations. They're not reboots. All right. Terrible live adaptations as well. I've seen bits and pieces of Aladdin. Didn't like it. I didn't even care if Genie was played by Will Smith. It's still terrible. Especially the stuff that they gave to Jasmine. That mindset behind Jasmine, like, oh my goodness. Do you guys want me to speak up on what their mind where their mind was when they gave Jasmine extra music lines? musical numbers. I mean, they said in the original, all she did was sit around and wait for a dude. That is the most disrespect that you can give to a character. They come up with a mindset that every Disney princess before is not Mulan, and therefore they're automatically terrible. These Disney princesses are very, very proactive in their own stories. Cinderella, Ariel, even dare I say it, Snow White. Even though people say Snow White didn't do a darn thing in her own movie, she was very proactive. She should she could have stayed when the huntsman told her to run. She could have, but she ran. She cooked for the dwarves. That's proactivity. You know, Grant. Like I said, you can make the argument she didn't do much in her own story, but it was still her story, and everybody around her wanted to protect her because she was a pure maiden. She was very that does not denounce her importance of the story. Cinderella may not have done much in her movie, but she was doing things in that movie, and she was very proactive too. She could have. Here's the thing: Cinderella could have just left her home once the rodents got her out of her locked room. She could have just left her home and ran away, but she ended up standing her own ground, gone downstairs, and present to the prince that she was the woman that ran away that night on midnight at the ball. That's proactivity. She could have ran away the moment she got out of the room. In fact, she could have left that house even though they saw her and just go and live in squalor or go somewhere else. Bale, proactive, or even oh man, I triggers you guys something fierce. Reboots, remakes, and adaptations are different things. Yes, they are, but they're trying to blend them. Here's the thing, Schooner. They're trying to blend them all in one. This terrible oversimplification of everything. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to simplify everything so everything is nothing. Compa- Compared to when you boil down to the definition, I fear for what the dictionaries are going to look like come 2021 because these kids are going to read these dictionaries and they're going to be in school and read these dictionaries and suddenly the definitions have all been rewritten. That's why I'm getting at Schooner. Brian Gil Martin. Jasmine did a lot in the original. She did not just sit around. She ran away from the palace in order to seek freedom, which is how she met Aladdin. Schooner also adds. Sorry. Every time I unhighlight the chat, it always move up, and I end up clicking on the wrong. But Schooner Tuna, Jasmine was proactive in the animated movie. Heck, her running into Aladdin sets up the whole film. Exactly. The thing is that when every time I say some stuff like that, I keep asking. I keep asking this. Have you even watched that movie? Have you even watched that movie? Because I never had a problem with Jasmine at all. I thought she was cool. I still think she's cool. She's a very proactive person. She Here's the thing about Jasmine. She only if there was ever a time where she does sit around in the palace, if there's ever a reason why she sat around the palace because she loved her father. Even though she's a rebellious child, she still loves her father and respects her father. And plus, she later finds out almost the hard way that what she what that when she left out out of the palace and saw what life is like in Agrabah, that was like a reality check for her. That's why she stayed in the palace. She, in other words, and also and also, she stayed in the palace because she felt bad for Aladdin. She thought Aladdin died. She thought her actions got Aladdin in trouble, and he was executed for her for what she did. She put the blame on herself. So I asked these people when they talk about this stuff, did you actually watch the movie? And I'm talking about watch. I'm not saying just skim through it and just roll off as complete drivel. Did you actually watch that movie? That's my problem with these hacks when they talk about these stuff. I'm like, excuse me, were we watching the same movie? And don't let them tell you any different, guys. Do not let them. Schooner tuna. So anyone who says Cinderella was a girl waiting for a princess is BS. Breaking it down simply, Cinderella is about a girl wanting a night out and happens to catch the attention of the prince. Bingo. Bingo. Exactly. All right. I put it off too long. I'm gonna read your lines. You guys threw me some juicy lines. Oh, yes. How was that for Megatron Beast Wars? Such heroic nonsense. All right, I'm gonna do both of them. I'm gonna try to do both of them. Prime, prime. I'm gonna try to do Apocalypse Evolution. I have planned nothing. I am but an instrument of destiny. That's my deep voice line. I don't think that's. I haven't gotten that far into to the final season of Evolution. I've been watching the series already, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen much of what Apocalypse says enough to memorize how he says it. But I tried. All right, I gotta say the whole line before I even let say that line. Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy. That's terrible. Let me try it again. Coronation Starscream. This is bad comedy. Or how about this from King and the Sword? Laughable. You will know justice. I am justice. Justice has been served. Well, you guys give me some more voice lines. I'm gonna read some more '90s X-Men voice lines. If I read that line, that was out of context. That was just. Hey, man, you gotta give props to old animated cartoons, man. They have some really good lines that if read in today's society would come off completely out of context, but also at the same time downright just dirty. Who do these spy catchers think they're dealing with? Winnie the Pooh? That sounds like Steve Blum's Wolverine. Actually, doesn't sound like the original Wolverine. That came off a bit. Like I said, that came off a bit. Steve Blum's version of Wolverine, which I can do really good too. Energy blast, huh? Here's one from a pro. Out of the way, Gumbo. Sorry, I didn't mean to pause. Think I'm gonna move on to another. Give me another series to try to quote lines. Oh, let me try this one. This is gonna hurt me. Did you say hydrant man? The dogs must love you. That's my terrible Peter Parker '90s voice. No, I think you guys did love my shocker line. Let me try. I'm gonna look at Spider-Man animated series. Let me see if I can do some of the villain voices. That's funny how they got the scene where he's running through all the explosions. Little video clip that they have. Do you guys enjoy me doing these impressions? Say in the comments. 77 of you guys. I hope you guys are hitting that like button. Though I will say what's shocking was what's the one that had the biggest viewer count? I think it was the Transformers one. I think it was. I think that's the highest viewer count. Now I'm not doing this for for viewership or anything like that, but it's nice that you guys come when y'all do come to enjoy me talk and give you guys discussions and technically be a professor to you guys for free of all things. Why is it with him in Tombstone though? Wow. IMDb sucks when it comes to getting quotes. Look, Doc, I'm sympathetic, but I don't usually handle domestic disputes. Yeah, that's not a good Spider-Man read. Y'all give me a show, one of y'all favorite shows. And you guys all agree. You guys like the impressions. Thank you for your praise, guys. Love it. And Owen Lister has a comment. Let's read it real quick. Here's a fun fact: the voice actor who voiced Spider-Man in the '90s also, series also voiced Eric from The Little Mermaid. Oh yeah, that's right, he did. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do some Disney ones, some Disney line reads. See if I can. I'm gonna try my Mufasa and Scar impressions. Beyonce did not need to be in that movie. By the way, she was not. She would not be who I cast for Nala. I'm sorry. Maybe because I'm not the biggest fan of Beyonce. That's probably bias speaking. All right, I'm gonna try this one, Schooner. Uh, you you guys know me. You guys know me far too well. Only the slimmest chances has allowed me to overcome my death at the hands of Superman. But let the universe howl in despair, for I have returned. I have put upon a lot of dark side lines. Uh, from day before yesterday, and I hope I was able to no, it's gonna take a while, so I'll have to look it up proper. But there were some really good lines I wanted to practice my dark side voice on. I'll try Rafiki to adult Simba. I know what I have to do, but going back means I have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow, jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past. Yeah, but it still hurts. Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But from the way I see it, you can either run for it or learn from it. And of course, swipes. Ah, you see? So what are you gonna do? First, I'm gonna take your stick. No, 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 no! Not the stick! Hey, where you going? I'm going back. Good. Go on, get out of here. You follow right. You follow Rafiki. He knows the way. I did not like his place in the sequel. I did like his song number, but he was wasted in that sequel. As much as I love Simba's pride, he was wasted. He just met. He was there to move the plot along, basically. That's all it was. Hey, Timon, ever wonder what those sparkly dots up there are? Boomba, I don't wonder. I know. Oh, what are they? They're fireflies. No, no, no. I can't do it. I can barely do a Billy. No, that's not Billy Crystal. What's his name? I'm on IMDb. I should know his name. It's got the cast listed. I would not try to do a Timon voice as much as I would love to. Young me would young me would have done a good Timon voice, but not so much now. I retired that voice a long time ago. Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures, from the crawling ant to the oof to the leaping antelope. But Dad, don't we eat the antelope? Yes, Simba, but let me explain. When we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. So we are all connected in the great circle of life. Trying to look for Mufasa and Scar. I'll do the one with him and Simba. Schooner, you. Hey, come on, guys. One up, Schooner. Come on, give me some lines, guys. It don't necessarily have to be anything from what I'm looking up right now. Anything from Justice League to even the Avengers. You give me some lines. Don't let Schooner take over now, y'all. I'm giving y'all competition here. No, I can't. Not kidding. I'm kidding. Let me try this one. Long live the king. Hey, Uncle Scar, guess what? I despise guessing games. I'm gonna be king of Pride Rock. Oh, goody. My dad just showed me the whole kingdom, and I'm gonna rule it all. Yes, well, forgive me for not leaving for joy back, you know. Hey, Uncle Scar, when I'm king, what'll I make you? A monkey's uncle. You're so weird. You have no idea. So, your father took you to the Pride Lands, yes? He never told you about the chalet place. Oh, he said I can go there, and he's absolutely right. Only the bravest lions should go there. Oop! Wait, dang it, I messed up the line. I was on a roll too, guys. 100%, almost 100%. Oh, I love this line. This line, this gonna make me, this gonna make me tear up a bit. Dad, we're pals, right? Right. And we always be together, right? Simba, Let me tell you something my father told me. Look at the stars. The great kings of the past looked down on us from those stars. Really? Yes. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you, and so will I. Your son's awake. Before sunrise, he's your son. Do not get any addition later on. Um, ooh. Oh boy. I'm gonna do Leah plus size first. But Schooner's asking me to sing right now. Who is this Superman? I define you, come and kneel before Zod. Zod! Actually, let me go ahead and do a Zod impression. Now that Leah plus size got me in the mood. I'm gonna do the line that he. No, I don't want that one. I'm gonna do the one in the beginning of the original Superman. Ah, my neck. Y'all give me a claw voice from Inspector Gadget. I'm gonna try to do my claw voice. Speaking of the claw. I have been chosen. Farewell, my friends. I go on to a better place. I'll try to do a Marlon Brando impression. I am the best at this, mind you, but I will try. You will travel far, my little Kal-El, but we will never leave you, even in the face of our death. The riches of our lives shall be yours, all that I have, all that I have learned, everything I feel, all this and more. I, I bequeath you, my son. You will carry me inside you all the days of your life. You will make my strength your own and see my life through your eyes, and your life will be seen through mine. The son becomes the father, and the father becomes the son. This is all I can send you, Kal-El. Live as one of them, Kal-El, to discover where your strength and your power are needed, but always hold in your heart the pride of your special heritage. They can be a great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They only lack the light to show the way. For this reason above all, the capacity for good, I sent them you, my only son. Nah, I'm not gonna read that line. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, okay. I was like, I'm looking at Schooner's line. I'm looking at Schooner's line like, wait. As I'm looking, no. I'm like, wait, who is this? Like, this, I know this is from Star Wars, but I'm like, who is this? And then I look up, I'm like, oh, okay. Let me see if I can do this one. I'm gonna try to do a Harrison Ford voice, really, and my voice should be good for this voice, for his voice. I mean, kid, I've flown from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff. I've never seen anything to make me believe that there's one all-powerful force controlling everything. There's no mystic power, there's no mystic energy field that controls my destiny. It's all a lot of simple tricks and nonsense. No, 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 no. Keep giving. Keep. It's the gift that keeps on giving. We're at the 2 hour mark, and I'm ready to go for at least one more hour of this. Because like I said, I covered the Disney remakes in quotes. I've covered what makes it. I covered some of my favorite. I think I covered some of my favorite. If you guys want to share some of your favorite reboots and sequels, I'll still give my 2 cents on it, whether I've seen them or not, or whether I like them or not. But you guys tell me which ones are your favorites and stuff. But all I'm saying, give me some lines while I'm having fun with these impressions. So yeah, like this discussion side of things is done, but we could still like have fun talking about stuff. Think of me as Sound Engraver. Oh hey there, Sound Engraver. She's not in this chat, but I just like to voice my line so that whenever time y'all guys hear me say, "Oh, how hey there, Sound Engraver," you guys can know what it sounds like. You guys have the pleasure of of saying it, of hearing me saying it. She mentions that she wants to hear. Hopefully I'll find a way to clip it one of these days so that I can send it to the Professor Geek's Facebook group so that so you guys can hear it. Everybody can hear it, so that whenever time they read my "Oh hey there" sound engraver, they know what excuse me excuse me, got the birth there. Now y'all know what it sounds like. Actually, I'll tell you where I got that from. Have you guys ever heard of this anime called Cells at Work? For those of you who haven't, um, it's a anime that takes place within the human body, and you're following cells basically from blood cells to skin cells. You got the platelets, the red blood cells, the white blood cells. Every type of cells that has their own function in the human body, and so like every time the main character red blood cell she gets herself into a pickle with a germ or any kind of virus. White blood cell comes in and slaughters it like in the most gratuitous violent displays. And when he's done, he stops and he looks and notices red blood cell, and he's always like, "Oh, hey there, red blood cell." So that's where I got that from. Now y'all know. Now y'all know. I always love that line. He's like, "Oh, hey there, red blood cell," because at one point when he attacks a germ, "I'll kill you, disgusting germ! Die, 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 die!" And he realizes he's done, and he's all covered in blood and stuff. He's like, "Oh, hey there, red blood cell." He just switched on and off on his attack mode. I love that. I love that show. I love that anime. If you guys want to really, if you want a show that gives you all kinds of crazy action and comedy, but at the same time educates you on the human body, Cells at Work is like the show and manga that you would want to check out. And and when they explain the human body, or at least what cells do, it's never boring. It's never boring. That's awesome. Gotta think for that social progressives. Talking about some educate people or get educated. Like, kiss my behind on that one. You have no clue on how to educate people or make people get educated. You just want to indoctrinate. That's what you're doing. This is no fantasy, no careless product of wild imagination. No, my good friends. These indictments I have brought you today, specific charges listed herein against these individuals. Their actions of treason, their ultimate aim of sedition, they're matters of undeniable fact. I ask you now to pronounce judgment on those accused. On this mindless aberration, whose only means of expression are wanton violence and destruction. On the woman Ursa, whose perversions and unreasoning hatred of all mankind have threatened even the children of the planet Krypton. Finally, General Zod, once trusted by this council, charged with maintaining the defense of the planet Krypton itself, chief architect of this intended revolution, and the author of this insidious plot to establish a new order among us, with himself as absolute ruler. You have heard the evidence. The decision of the council will now be made. Guilty! The vote must be unanimous, Jarrell. It has therefore now become your decision. You alone will condemn this, if you wish, and you alone will be held responsible by me. Join us. You have known to disagree with the council before. Yours could have. Yours could became. Ew, no. I think they wrote these lines disproportionately. Time to take your medicine, love. I love that movie, by the way. I love that movie. I still want to own it. Let me try that line. That line from Zod again. You have been known to disagree with the council before. You could have become important voice in the new world order. Second only to Mile. Ah, crap. You know what's working against me right now? My brain reads faster than my mouth translates. That's why I get tongue tied because my brain is it's funny how I'm reading your guys' comments aloud easily, but when I'm trying to do a line read, my brain is reading way more faster than my mouth is trying to formulate the cadence, and that's what's working against me right now. It's like you know how the voice sounds in your head, but as you're reading along the lines, it's like your mouth. You know how to read aloud fast, especially if you're not doing a line read, of course. But you're also gotta do the line read. But at the same time, you have the voice in your head in mind. But your brain reads so fast. So my brain's trying to jump ahead with my mouth in a way. Then I'm messing up this line from Zod. Oh, I'll skip along. Uh, I'm gonna do my Denzel impression. Y'all like Denzel, don't y'all? I know y'all like Denzel. Denzel's like one of my favorite male role models and favorite father figures of acting. I'm gonna do John Q. I've been I thought about doing Denzel impression for the longest time, and I think I could do a John Q impression. Y'all can give me some lines too while you're at it, and give me some sequels and reboots to take a look at. Sorry, I'm reading a review, quote unquote, because this is IMDb people. Do they actually get paid to write reviews? Y'all correct me on that front. I'll do his trailer line. I'm not gonna bury my son. My son's gonna bury me. Y'all can rate me on John Q on that one. Seems like you guys are slowing down. Maybe I should just end the stream right now, or maybe I just y'all busy right now. I know Leah likes to cook. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. We both agree on the rewatch, man. Come on, it's not. I mean, that's pretty obvious right now, Owen. You are a Guyver fan. One of these days, I'm gonna have to. I still. Owen, about your Bill Blaze again. I'm still gonna do that for you. Do the color scheme for you to give you. I want the reason why I'm doing it for you because I want to give you what I think will be a good color scheme for the lightning build that you got for Bill Blaze. That's still coming. Don't worry about that. That's still coming. Trust me. For Leia plus size, I have seen the Fly remake. That's why I put it on my top remakes alongside with the John Carpenter's The Thing. That is a good remake. And I've seen the original. I still love the original. Help me! Help me! That sounded creepy, didn't it? Let me know how creepy that was. I'll do my Pennywise voice later after Denzel. I'm sure y'all want what okay, show of hands. Which Pennywise you want me to do? Either the Tim Curry Pennywise or Bill Skarsgård uh Pennywise. You guys tell me in the comments which one y'all want to hear first, or which one y'all want me to hear. Period. Because I could do both. Trust me. Schooner Tuna. Well, you can. Here's the thing, Owen. Here's what you can do as far as that. Um, give me what you would imagine Jenny's color would be, and I'll put what your idea would be. Then I'll put forth my thought process of what the color scheme would be, or what I would like to what I would put in if I was coloring it. Going to Schooner Tony because I don't want Schooner Tuna because I don't want to leave you behind. Evil Dead would be both. It would be both. Um, Evil. I would count Evil Dead 2 as a revision to Evil Dead because remember if you great source of info about Evil Dead the original Evil Dead. Look at Good Backflix exploring Evil Dead. There was a lot of things that they want to do in that production, which they were able to do because considering all the stuff that they were working with. Evil Dead 2 is like a revision of what they wanted to do, basically. And you can also count Evil Dead 2 as its own movie as well. So it's a sequel and it's a remake all in one. But I like to call it revision, mostly revision. I still I still love X2. I'm gonna try to do my next stream. I'll try to do my Ian McKellen Magneto voice for you guys. And everybody wants me to do the Tim Curry version of Pennywise. I don't think nobody wants to hear Bill Skarsgård right now. So I'm gonna try to do this one from John Q, and this is him and his son, the final ending to his son. So try to stay awake for a minute, son. I need to tell you a few things. Okay, Dad. You always listen to your mother. Understand? Do what she tells you to do. She's your best friend. Tell you love her every day. You're too young for girls right now, but there's gonna come a time, and when it does, you treat them like princesses. because that's what they are. When you say you're going to do something, you do it because your word is your bond, son. That's all you have. And money, you make money if you get a chance. If you gotta sell out every once in a while, you make as much money as you can. Don't be stupid like your father. Everything is so much easier with money, son. Don't smoke. Be kind to people. If somebody chooses you, you stand up, you be a man, and you stay away from the bad things, son. Please, don't be caught up in the bad things. There are so many great things out there for you. I'll never leave you. I'll always be with you, right there. I love you, son. That's my line from John Q. I'm not gonna read. There's probably some swear words in there. So I'm gonna do Tim Curry Pennywise. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna read Owen's comment there. Well, come on, show me. Oh my goodness, I probably missed it too. No, I do not want the 2017 version. And you can be ridiculous sometimes. I don't want to say that one word. Uh, Sorry, guys. I don't want to pause. I'm just like, there it is. Took me a while, but I finally found it. Now I'm going to read Owen's comment real quick. Oh, no, no. Do you really mean that? Do you really mean that? I don't think I don't know. I don't know if I nailed it, dude. You took anybody else? Anybody else? Let me know what y'all thought about that John Q line read. Don't get the wrong idea, Schooner. You just you hit me right there in the heart when you said that. Thank you. Sorry, that took me off guard. You took me off guard with that one. Y'all rate my everybody else rate me on that one. Uh, so Owen, as he repeated a few times, for me, Jenny is redhead with green eyes. She's half Irish. I do like the idea of pink being a secret favorite color, but she mostly wears yellow and blue. Oh, you took all my color schemes from Tuesday and blended together. Great job on that one. You have that good creative mind there. So that's awesome, dude. That's really awesome. I can actually see that working in her character design when you especially when you want to color it. I can see her wearing a sweater that's also yellow and blue. I can also see that. But that but her wearing a little pink ribbon in her hair will also work in her favor too to show a bit of a secret, or at least telegraph the secret that she likes. I'll give you guys everybody's favorite line. Kiss me, big boy. I'm every nightmare you ever had. I'm your worst dream come true. I'm everything you were afraid of. Excuse me, sir. Sorry. Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Hiya, Georgie. Aren't you gonna say hello? Oh, come on, bucko. Don't you want a balloon? I'm not supposed to talk. I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers. My dad said so. Very wise of your dad, Georgie. Very wise indeed. Aye, Georgie. And Pennywise, the denting clown. You are Georgie. So now we know each other, correct? I guess so. I gotta go. Go? Without this? My boat! Exactly. Go on, kiddo. Take it. Oh, you want it, don't you, Georgie? Of course you do. And there's cotton candy and rides, all sorts of surprises down here. And balloons, too. All colors. Do they float? Oh, yes, they float, Georgie. They float. And when you're down here with me, you'll float, too. Beep, beep, Richie. They all float down here. When you're down here with us, you'll float, too. Excuse me, ma'am. Is your refrigerator running? It is. Well, you better go catch it before it runs away. Aha! 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 How's that Pennywise, guys? Oh, thank you, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, I rate my Pennywise. I guess I'll do. You know what? Since I didn't mention Magneto, I might as well do the Magneto voice from Sir Ian McKellen. Heck, man, just think about it, getting knighted. Now they have to say Sir Patrick Stewart, and Sir Ian McKellen. Of course, there's also Sir Attenborough, I believe, John Attenborough, who was John Hammond in Jurassic Park. I wish I could do it, John Hammond, but I'm probably flex my voice far too much to do that. I'll have to do it next time when it's well rested. Maybe I'll do an Ian Malcolm impression for you guys before I go. I'll take that critique to heart, Owen. It means I have to do some studying. But all in all, what out of 10, what would you give it, Owen? Hey, it's me. Prove it. You're a dick. Okay. You actually go out and you actually go outside in these things. Well, what do you prefer? Yellow spandex? And F you, Brian Singer, for that one. You denied us Wolverine and yellow spandex. Even the Wolverine denied us yellow spandex. They teased it at the end, guys. They had a nice suit, nice looking Wolverine suit at the end of the Wolverine, which I hate that movie, by the way. It's good for what it is, but the way how they handle Silver Samurai in that, no, here's the thing, guys. Silver Samurai is in that movie. Imagine. That's the only thing we can do is imagine. But yeah, what I was saying about the Wolverine, frick, freaking Silver Surfer was in there. And I'm not talking about the power armor either. They literally had Silver Surfer, Silver Samurai. He's that archer dude, that archer ninja dude that got stabbed by these the up, the audacity and disrespect to Silver Samurai in that movie. He gets stabbed by a freaking power armored Silver Samurai. The Archer dude. That was Silver Samurai, guys. That was Silver Samurai. Boy, when I heard that, I was reeing with hatred. Because they denied us a Silver Samurai versus Wolverine fight in that movie. I'm so glad they finally made it up for Logan. With Logan, I'm sorry. With Logan. Ugh. You could say X-Men Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine is the worst, and I'll stick by with you with that. But I mean, it disrespected a lot of characters in that movie. But man, oh man, I have more contempt towards the Wolverine more so than X-Men Origins Wolverine. That's only because it was hitting the right spots in the beginning, and it crash landed at the end. That's why I have so much hatred towards the Wolverine more so than X-Men Origins Wolverine. Because at least the Wolverine looked like it was made by people who actually cared about the source material, and they, uh, man, just mm-mm. That wasn't, man, no. And Owen Lister gives me a 9 out of 10. It's too a perfect 10 out of 10 is too perfect a score for anything because nothing's perfect. I like the way you think, buddy. You're humbled. That's very humble of you. And I'm glad that you humbled me with that line, with that work, with that comment there. All right, I'm gonna try to do a Sir Ian McKellen voice and a Patrick Stewart voice. Yeah, Owen. I like the Wolverine, but I understand why you don't like it. Logan was great. It made me tear up a little at the end. Man, I almost bawled out, dude, towards the end. You almost teared up, dude. I nearly cried. Like tears was rolling down my eyes. My wife's too. I looked to her. I saw glistening on her cheeks. Like it was hitting her too, and it was hitting me. I was like, man. I will give you a little fun tidbit in our audience when we went to see it. Uh, so once when the movie finished, somebody was clapping in the background saying, shouting, "Thank you, Logan! Thank you, Logan! Thank you!" I was giggling. I was like, you know what? You know what? Have at it, buddy. Have your moment. Have your moment, man. Good. You know what? This is a good movie. Dude, that warranted that. Okay. Also, another fun tidbit. Speaking of bad reboots, the Fan Four Stick. So I'm gonna share something funny with you guys. At our watch of Fan Four Stick, our friends was with us too, included my wife and my friend and his wife were there, double dating, double dating. What? Um. So at the end, they got this whole little shtick where it says 150 million or 150 billion people that worked on this production and all that stuff. And when it was done, because we were waiting for an end credit scene, and I shouted, "Well, F you too!" And everybody started busting up laughing because there was dead silence at that moment, and I broke the silence with that line. I was so pissed off. I agree. That was a big shocker there, especially that line he gives, and sadly he gave it to the wrong person, a person who doesn't even know who he is, and he just stabs him in the chest. That was, ooh, that, as a matter of fact, that was painful to watch when he snicks the blades into him. I was like, oh, that was, man. I mean, you could. I was desensitized with all the other. Well, actually, no, I wasn't really that desensitized to all the violence in that movie, but that one right there, like I felt that those blades coming into my chest, especially especially seeing the family getting killed. Ooh, I felt the pain too there when the family died. And like a lot of people like they try to write off like, oh, they just got killed. They're not really that important. No, man, that's still human life. And if you have that kind of mindset, I suggest you check into a mental institute for you to think like that. Because I would really hate to see how you would react to your family member dying or how your dog would die if you're thinking, oh, they're not that important in filming like that. Art is supposed to make you feel. Filming is art. And if you felt nothing when that family died in Logan, again, I'm really scared to wonder what you think about your real life family for you to think like that. Not speaking to you guys directly. I'm talking about anybody who ever said that family was not like, no, that's still a life. They let those people in their homes, fed them. Those people had humanity, and you're trying to tell me they had nothing to add to the story? No, this is them. This is their reminder to Logan and Xavier of how a family that they used to have with the X-Men in the X Mansion. All right. Don't tell me that these people had nothing to contribute to this movie other than them repaying them for what they sorry, I got a little distracted there. Don't tell me that this family add nothing to it, especially if they let the people that help them with their horses and get their horses back treat them to a home and food. That's like, it's like these people have no concept of human decency, generosity. They have no concept of generosity and charity. Speaking of generosity and charity, after I read this Xavier line, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna before I close out this stream, I'm gonna give you my Samuel L. Jackson impression. How about that, guys? And I'm sorry to hear that, Lead Plus Size, that it depressed you. Hopefully, the ending gives you a bit of gave you a bit of a sense of hope, because that's what gave me, like, as sad as it was to see Logan dying. At least his legacy will carry on to Laura at the end, X-23, if you will, and the hope that these mutants will get to what was that place called? Paradise? New Genesis? No, New Genesis, New Mutant, New Gods. I'm sorry, New Gods. Anyways, does it ever wake you in the middle of the night? The feeling that one day they will pass that foolish law or one just like it and come for you and your children? It does indeed. What do you do when you wake up to that? I feel a great swell of pity for the poor soul who comes to that school looking for trouble. Why do you come here, Charles? Why do you ask questions? I think I'm mixing their voices a bit. Why do you ask questions to which you already know the answer? Ah, yes, your continuing search for hope. You know this plastic prison of theirs won't hold me forever. The war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it by any means necessary. And I will always be there, old friend. It's my poor attempt at Patrick Stewart voice. Y'all rate me on how I did their voices. But I think you guys are fading on me, so I'll end it with Samuel Jackson. So let's go with Jules from Pulp Fiction, and then I'll close the stream out. I'll do this one Magneto line that I love always from the first movie. Where are the future, Charles? Their kind never mattered. Ian McKellen as Magneto, best casting. Changed my mind. As much as I love Michael Fassbender, still love Ian McKellen as Magneto. Best casting choice ever. Nobody's changing my mind on that one. Let's see if I can find it. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna see if I can creatively censor myself on this one. I'm gonna read Scooter's comment here. Unlike most franchises that sort of fizzle away, Wolverine movies subsequently got better with the sequels, with Logan being the perfect film to close the franchise out on. I just rather ignore the previous two and just let Logan be the definitive ending for the X-Men franchise. So here's my lineup for each X-Men movies. So I'll still count First Class as their own beast, but for the originals, like from X1 to 3, I would put those in the same universe as Logan. So it would be X1 all the way to 3. As much as I don't like Last Stand that much, I still count it as part of the franchise. And yes, we know it's wiped out from existence due to Days of Future Past. If you want to count those two in the same universe, but I like to count the First Class franchise its own franchise. But like I said, 1 to 3, and then Logan. That's the definitive franchise right there for me for X Men. As for First Class, it will still be all the way to Dark Phoenix, even though I don't count Dark Phoenix as a movie part of that franchise anymore. That movie don't exist. Most people will say Apocalypse don't exist. No, Apocalypse does exist. Dark Phoenix don't exist. Dark Phoenix is not even a movie at all. It's just a talking point movie. That's all it is. But I'm gonna try this Jules line. I don't think I'll be able to censor myself for this line. Even if I do say the kind of the kind of replacements, it's gonna be tough for me. May have I probably will. I'll probably try to do the I'll probably do the wolf too. I know you guys love wolf. And good night, Owen. Drive safe. Sorry. Oh, it's gonna be difficult because it's gonna be hard for me to not laugh. Sorry, I don't mean to pause. You know what? I'll probably say that for another stream. You guys are fading on me, and I don't want to pause looking for lines for you guys. I should just cut the stream from here now. So let me go over for what is happening for the future. Tonight will be Professor Geek's. I think it's the Geek tonight for Thursday. That or Carton the Klingon Cleric for Thursday. Friday will be Fan Man and maybe Big Al, or maybe Fan Man and or probably Big Al. They're probably doing some rewatch or some sort. Maybe Fan Man's doing something early in the morning. I don't know. I don't keep track of them. Um, Saturday, I know Al probably has something going on for Oh, I'll have to do that next time if you're here for that next time. Carl Lumley and Jeremy Sisto, who voiced Batman in New Frontier. Actually, before I sign out, yeah, you know what? Let me go into that one. Nope, nope. My voice is tired, so let me just sign off now. Like I said, for Saturday might be Troy stream or Al stream. That's probably, or maybe Netter, Mapacelli doing a rewatch somewhere. Sunday will be, it's usually me and the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron doing a rewatch, but as of right now, until further notice, we'll have something going on for you guys. Until further notice, so far there's nothing going on. It's just me carrying this channel for now. Later on, usually later on after our stream, it will be Study Hall with Troy Pacelli and Age Boomer. After that will be me and Mr. Matchstick in our We Watch, hosted by Mr. Matchstick and me co-hosting. Monday will be Sound Engravers Monday Night Muse. I'm sure she'll have something ready for that. Any type of topic, please go support her on her channel. She gives great analysis and great studies and lectures. It's imperative that you guys check her out. That, and always continue to tune into Professor Geek on Tuesday alongside with me, the Wolf Commander, with the the WCRs. Um, Wednesday will be songs with Birdman with Daniel Herron and Age Boomer. Also sharing that slot will also be Green Lion Girl 7 with her streaming of, I think this next Wednesday it will be maybe Final Fantasy 7 remake, or she'll be continuing the Hitman uh stream next Wednesday. So that'll be it. This has been Wolf Tamia. I am your werewolf, and this has been another WRC. Thank you guys for showing up.